Hello, everyone, and welcome again to the show. I am your host, the one and the only, Proud 4%er, where I take my time to help you, my viewers, think outside of the 96% Democratic black voting box. Okay, let's get started. All you 96%ers, I want to talk to you today about the president's meeting on Tuesday with what in some moronic fashion he considers his top economic officials regarding the fiscal cliff looming in the coming months. If this does not clue you into his ineptitude of managing this nation's finances, well, frankly, I don't know what will. President Barack Obama met with Rachel Maddow, Al Sharpton, and other superly influential progressives as part of his campaign to sell the public on the need to extend the Bush middle-class tax cuts. Are you kidding me? I guess not. White House Deputy Press Secretary Josh Earnest confirmed the meeting took place, even though it wasn't listed on Obama's schedule. He said, this afternoon at the White House, the president met with influential socialist redistributionist progressives to talk about the importance of preventing a tax increase on middle-class families, strengthening our economy, and adopting a balanced approach to deficit reduction. Understand, 96%ers, that word, progressive, is the covert term for socialist, redistributionist. Press Secretary Earnest wouldn't give details on who was in the meeting or how long it lasted, but Huffington Post spotted several attendees on their way into the White House just after 3 p.m. on Tuesday, December 4th, which included that MSNB-HeeHaw's list of ignoramuses I just mentioned: Maddow, Sharpton, Lawrence O'Donnell, and Ed Shultz. Well, I don't know why. I am surprised. Obama has held similar gatherings in the past. Remember, he organized a meeting with liberal columnists in January 2009, and also had an off-the-record chat with progressives. I mean socialist redistributionist media types in October 2009, as well as the lunch held with the same types of progressive pundits in June 2010 to discuss the Gulf oil spill, among other topics. Hold on a moment, I suppose this meeting is beginning to make sense now. Ironically, the president said in a Bloomberg TV interview earlier before this meeting on Tuesday that he doesn't pay much attention to what people say on cable news. Of course, that was during the interview where he was asked about Republican attacks that were directed toward UN Ambassador Susan Rice, many of which have been on cable news programs such as Fox. Somehow, though, now the shields at the most left-leaning, corrupt, so-called news network in the land, MSNB-HeeHaw, gets the president's ear on tax policy when these folks can't be trusted to come close at being impartial when reporting on such things, much less consult on them. The president replied, I don't really spend a lot of time on, what folks say on cable news programs. What? Oh, my mistake. MSNB-HeeHaw is not a news program. It is a comedy show. Thanks for reminding me, Mr. President. I want you to understand this, you 96%ers who just blindly voted this social redistributionist, and once again, this is where the president looks to gain insight about the importance of preventing a tax increase on middle-class families, strengthening our economy, and adopting a balanced approach to deficit reduction. Open the door, Mr. Fargan, to the mothership, and have Scotty beam me up. So now, the shields at the most left-leaning, corrupt, so-called news network in the land, MSNB-HeeHaw, gets the president's ear on tax policy. Exactly how can these folks be trusted to be impartial when reporting on such things? Oh, that's right. They never were. Stop and think, if only for 1 minute, all you voting locksteppers, about one of these eerie simpletons listed who is unlikely to be knowledgeable about national economic policy. That would be the Reverend Al Sharpton, let alone having this lunacy multiplied by 4. This, my dear friends, is whom the president is calling influential and seeking guidance on such vital matters, whose expertise on taxes is how to lie, cheat, and steal his way through. If you are sending any of your hard-earned dollars his way, thinking they're going to be redistributed through this shyster to help those less fortunate, stop and listen, as I share his fiscal responsibility. This is how he handles revenues when it comes to making sure that those revenues land in any government coffers. These numbers are as late as last year. Who knows what it may be now? The Reverend Al Sharpton's nonprofit paid him nearly $242,000, even as it carried a $1.6 million debt, and this, according to documents obtained by the Post in 2011. All this blood-sucking, controversial leech of an activist and his empire, including his National Action Network and 2 for-profit companies he is involved with, were $5.3 million in the red, public records show. Now ask yourself where those funds went. Most of his National Action Network's money woes stemmed from more than $880,000 in unpaid federal payroll taxes, interest, and penalties. That right, Mr. Social Redistributionist won't even pay his own taxes. In addition, the National Action Network also paid more than $100,000 to settle 2 lawsuits, which are the byproducts of the unpaid bills. Some economic consultant he is. If you want to talk about flam, the National Action Network, it's still owed $206,252 in loans to, get this, Sharpton's for-profit, Sharpton Media LLC, and Bo Spanky Consulting Incorporated. Those numbers, whereas records showed, as of 2011. I am not done yet. Sharpton drew a $241,732 salary and perks that included first-class or charter air travel, while tax filings show he owes the IRS $2.6 million in income tax and nearly $900,000 in state tax. There was also at the time the defunct Reval Communications Incorporated, which owed the state almost $176,000, and at that same time, Bo Spanky was $3,500 behind on state tax liens. Are you people hearing me out there? This same Al Sharpton that the Obama administration met with on Tuesday to put together a plan for national fiscal responsibility has said he himself was on a repayment plan with state and federal tax authorities. Hand me an Advil while I wait on the mothership, because I do have a headache. And don't you 96%ers forget, this same shyster, Sharpton, is close to finishing repaying the Peabody Hotel in Memphis the $106,981 owed this establishment since 2008, when this shyster's, Sharpton's National Action Network skipped out on its bill after its annual convention, and this was according to its 2010 audited financial statements. Not to mention, but shysters, Sharpton's National Action Network had to pay $5,500 to a Phoenix developer to settle a legal dispute over the rental of chapter offices. People, is this really who the president wants to be seen in the company of, let alone be described as conferring with? Is he not aware of O'Donnell's having challenged Mitt Romney's son, Tag, on air to go mano a mano with him after the younger Romney spoke, admittedly, inappropriately, of taking a swing at the president for calling his dad a liar. And, oh yeah, what about Sharpton's long and dishonorable history as a race huckster, provocator, and anti-Semite? And I guess Obama has no problem with Ed Shultz telling his audience that the Republicans want to see them dead. Maybe that's because Obama has come close himself to crossing the line in his disparagement of the enemy. As for Maddow, all that really needs to be said, I read where one journalist wrote, is that she is wrong once a day, unlike a stop clock, because that's how frequently her show airs. Lastly, nevertheless, all you 96%ers who have wantonly placed this ire upon yourselves, it is a sad day in this soon-to-be the former greatest nation the world has ever been graced with, if this is really the best the president could do in the interest of appearing serious about snatching the nation back from the looming precipice. Well, folks, that's all the time I have in this segment. As always, until we next meet, this again your host, the one and the only proud 4%er, providing you with the necessary tools to cut your way out of the 96% Democratic black voting box.